You know, I went to sleep last night with an early Christmas present from the one and only Ackman. This man has absolutely embarrassed the hell out of PlayStation fanboys on Twitter recently because they are still crying over Halo Infinite. Now, how the hell these ponies are still crying over the game is beyond me. I genuinely have no idea how it's even possible for them to be consuming this much copium without at least dying. The only hope we have left to cure these dumb motherfuckers is a little thing called bullying. I know what you're thinking, but mischief, bullying bad. No, shut the fuck up. Bullying is epic when it's done to the right people. And of course I am here to dry up these fanboys in order to collect as well as process all that sweet Sony pony salt for your enjoyment before the Ant-Man comes in and steals all my customers. Although hopefully this extra potent Sony pony salt for today will be enough to keep you all addicted to my product, since we all know with the Ant-Man getting into the Sony pony salt business, the value of it will go up by at least tenfold, which I'm very excited for. I'm also glad to see more and more people getting fed up with these absolute man-children known as PS5 fanboys and fanboys in general. Not only does it make me more money, but it also makes the world a better place. I mean, how pathetic do you have to be in order to tell someone to kill themselves because they're a quote-unquote corporate slave, simply due to them saying Microsoft was the best publisher this year, which I think we can all agree is a true statement and isn't remotely impressive either, considering how every other publisher is trying to shove bullshit NFTs down off the roads. When even the mainstream media and large YouTubers are getting fed up with PS5 fanboys, you know there is a serious problem. There are very few other communities in gaming that have this level of toxicity, and I have little to no idea as to how PlayStation fanboys have gotten so popular. It takes an insane lack of brain cells to ever believe a single thing coming out of their mouths regarding any topic, and yet thousands of people manage to lack enough brain cells to form a literal cult around PlayStation. But either way, let's get into the Sony ponies seething over the Ant-Man embarrassing them and crying over Halo Infinite continuously. At Just an LED, what have you gotten me into? I'm just here to send a message. The sacrifices may be too great, but they'll end up in your favor. These dumbasses really think they're the second coming of Christ or some shit. I'm just here to send a message. Like, shut the fuck up. All you are here to do is slob on the knob of Sony and trash anything Xbox with no sense of reality behind 99% of what you say. Although to be fair, you are publicly sacrificing your dignity every single time you tweet. Having an entire Twitter account dedicated to sucking off Sony must be incredibly draining on your mental health, thanks to the fact you have to wake up every morning and complain about games you aren't even going to play. I have no idea how it's even possible for someone to wake up every morning, having an entire Twitter account dedicated to a company they don't even work for, and still want to live, or have any sense of dignity. Nothing will ever be more cringe than your tweets, to be frank. I absolutely love to be the one to break it to you, but those aren't tweets. Those are the thumbnails for old as fuck videos. How do you even get tweets and YouTube videos mixed up in the first place? It makes zero sense. Neither of the two look remotely similar. Then again, I am reading Sony pony tweets and having to remind myself to expect basic comprehension skills, let alone common sense. At this point, I'm pretty sure all the Sony pony salt I produce for you guys is seeping into my brain and causing me to have a little bit of hope for humanity. Players react to legit bad things in a game. The intellectual, yes, they must be fans of the other platform, and we shouldn't hold a game company responsible for their bugs. One of the tweets is quite literally someone complaining that an unreleased feature which you have to cause a fairly hard bug in order to use isn't working correctly. Now explain to me how the fuck that is a quote-unquote legitimate bad thing in a game. That feature isn't meant to have been released yet, and the other two tweets are crying over absolute non-issues. Another LED's tweet is just him crying because a Spartan doesn't ragdoll the way he wants it to after Master Chief gets killed by a grenade. That is not a fucking valid complaint, and it isn't even remotely close to being one, just like every other thing these people complain about in Halo Infinite. Also, the ponies in the screenshot are some of the most well-known PlayStation fanboys. There is no doubt that they are fanboys, hence why the Ant-Man is calling them exactly what they are. Blue check Xbox fanboys console warring may just be the most cringe genre on Twitter. Yes, the Ant-Man, my absolute favourite Xbox and Halo fanboy. He has definitely never criticised Xbox, and he has certainly never come close to criticising Halo Infinite. You do have to admire how ignorant some of these people are. If you call out fanboys, then you must be a fanboy for the opposition. I mean, the irony in what the guy's saying and what he's doing here is unbelievable. That logic simply makes little to no sense, and in this case it would take a maximum of 30 seconds to find out it isn't true in the case of the Ant-Man. If anything is cringe here, it's the people spending the majority of their days going around Halo Infinite looking for non-issues to complain about, like how the grass interacts with players or how Master Chief ragdolls post-death, instead of actually playing video games they like. Not the people mocking / calling out the sad group of fanboys constantly doing that shit. Blue check people fueling and taking part in console warring while complaining about console wars again. People make fun of games all the time. There are countless tweets of an Xbox making fun of Ratchet and Clank and Returnal. Never seen you cared enough to make a tweet. I wonder why. Probably because Ackman is a more Halo centered channel, and so we'll see the fanboys crying about Halo Infinite actually being a good game far more often than the very few Xbox left in the wild complaining about Ratchet and Clank. Xbox fanboys are virtually extinct at the moment. They are few and far between, unlike Sony ponies who are insanely prominent in the gaming community on Twitter right now, and who are constantly spam tweeting about how good Sony's games are and how bad Xbox is without ever realizing that maybe both consoles have good games and that neither system is overall bad in comparison to the other. I know, a truly mind-blowing take. Both consoles have a target audience that they are targeting. Who could have guessed that? What sensitivity with Halo? If the game were from Ubisoft, they would be hitting it all over the place. Your bar is very low and that is good. They already know that you will swallow anything. If this was a Ubisoft game, it wouldn't have even been playable at launch, let alone have most issues with the multiplayer already addressed and fixed. It would also have even worse microtransaction implementation along with NFTs shoved into the mix, just for that little extra bit of revenue. A solid $400 of revenue, that is. It would have also had paid multiplayer separate to the paid campaign, along with the PC port being exclusive to the Fortnite store and having hacking issues worse than Warzone. All in all, compared to what Ubisoft has achieved with every single one of their recent shooters, Halo Infinite is godlike, which isn't saying a lot because Ubisoft games are for the most part trash. However, Halo Infinite is undeniably one of the best shooters we've seen in a hell of a long time. The recent Call of Duty and Battlefield titles don't even come close to matching Halo Infinite in terms of content and polish. Just look at Battlefield 2042. The game is barely playable on any system because it's that much of a shit show, and COD Vanguard is just a bad game. If Halo was on third-party multi-plat, these people won't care and would likely also be calling out some of its mishaps. The checkmarks only come out when it's an exclusive, and lately, not to generalize, but it seems like taking shots at PlayStation fans is the popular thing for engagement. It's almost like at the moment the PlayStation community has some incredibly loud individuals in it that are some of the most toxic people in the gaming community, to the extent that at one point they were making fun of a developer leaving his team working on Perfect Dark over family loss. Yeah, I'm not joking. These are the types of people who are filling the PlayStation fanboy community. No shit, they are going to be called out more than Xbox fanboys. There are more PlayStation fanboys, and so there is more to make fun of. You can't exactly make content out of Xbox fanboys on Twitter right now because there are barely any of them. And if Halo was third party and not an Xbox exclusive, you're damn right Sony ponies wouldn't care. They only dislike the game because it's an Xbox exclusive. You can have your issues with a game so long as they are reasonable. Just look at the Ant-Man's video criticizing Halo Infinite, or look at my review of the multiplayer for example. I was highly critical of the game and still am. The same applies to the Ant-Man as well. However, the people Ant-Man was responding to did not have legitimate nor constructive criticism for the game. They were simply attacking it because it's an Xbox console exclusive. AP shows that there is no interaction with Ratchet and Clank environment equals nothing major. AP shows something from Xbox equals laughing my ass off, look at these fanboys seething, ponies are the worst. The AP constantly gets mocked by everyone on Twitter. He got dragged over on there for his bullshit criticisms of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for weeks, and still gets made fun of it to this day. People are giving him the exact same energy about his ludicrous criticisms of Halo Infinite as they did when he poorly critiqued Ratchet and Clank. The only difference here is that he's attacking an undeniably more popular game, and so there will be more people making fun of him or calling him out on his bullshit. I know it shocks to hear this as a Sony pony, but maybe take a look in the mirror rather than crying whenever someone calls out one of your brethren on Twitter. Aren't these your videos? Thinking emoji. It's almost as if their criticisms of the game aren't valid due to them being complete bullshit console war propaganda, and his criticisms of the game are genuinely reasonable as well as valid. The difference between what he's doing and what those dumbasses are doing is he's offering constructive criticism, whereas they are just complaining for the sake of complaining in order to say that Sony is better, because for some unknown reason they are obsessed with growing a cult around Sony. Just because two people have criticized something, that doesn't mean they've done it in the same way. Not all criticism is equal. Some is bullshit and some is valid. His is valid, theirs is not. A very simple concept anyone should be able to comprehend. Is this Ant-Man a bot YouTuber? He got so many salty bots in his replies. It's because he likes Halo, you know, so Xbox will gravitate towards him, lol. They are really thirsty for positive content lol, they flock to PC dude channels like Fratanga and now this guy lol. Damn, Fratanga really living in their heads rent free. And for the love of God, stop saying lol so much. If you're gonna use it at the end of the sentences. There's no reason to repeat it every 2 seconds. It only makes you look more stupid than you already look. Although to be fair, you probably don't give a shit at this point. It's kinda your thing. Also, how in the hell is Yatman an Xbox centered channel? Just take a look at his channel and explain to me exactly how he's an Xbox or how his content would attract Xbox fanboys. Because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't flock to a channel that has been consistently critical of Halo Infinite in the right way. If they were thirsty for positive content, they wouldn't flock to his channel. Criticizing Halo Infinite is perfectly okay so long as you do it in a legitimate way and not by pulling a load of bullshit so that you can call PlayStation better via comparing Halo Infinite to games that aren't even in the same genre or even targeting the same audience. Now I am personally about to overdose on Sony Pony Soul, which means we have finally reached the end of my video. So with all that being said, please do not forget to do all the things YouTubers love to beg you to do, aka check out my Discord server, follow me on Twitter, as well as like, comment and subscribe. So I'll see you all in the next video.